the day, you can't have a country running on nonsense, as
On social
we would like
media,
to call
on social media direction.
it. Exactly. So we always try to make sure, well, our people have a very clear understanding
Hmm.
of what is going on, right? What we are dealing with. And of course, everybody could go and follow the social media pages, no problem.
Hmm.
But we always advise people to follow the official government, even though they take a time.
Yeah.
See the thing with information,
Hmm.
it is not free, swift, right?
Hmm.
Information should be brought in, revised, and everything else in between before it reaches the public. That way, once it actually reach the public, you
Hmm.
know, it is factual information.
Yeah.
So we
That's true.
wanted to make sure we expand on that today.
And that has a lot to do with making sure that you get your information from credible sources.
Correct.
And that I think has been the hiccup with a lot of the individuals. Not only that, we were particularly diving into the issue of you know when information is disseminated, the way in which some individuals disseminate that information
Hmm.
um, is not. There's always an angle or a direction in which they will spin um, this bit of information. For example, when we looked at the issue of the natural resources minister being escorted at JFK, it was a big blow up. Um, Even stuff was said that I don't think was relevant to the particular issue, such as he did not inform, um, was it the ministry or the government of Guyana that he was leaving the country? Which I think was, how did they get that information? Did the PPP say no? He didn't tell us before he left.
So this is the thing, Malachi. From what I know, my police and military friends, when they want to leave the country,
Yeah,
they have to let the boss know. The boss have to sign off,
yeah.
right? And they could be able to pass the airport, because once you get to the airport and they ask, what do you do? And you said, I'm an active service member,
Mm.
then they ask to see your release slip,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So from based on knowledge, you're supposed to have a release slip. I mean, obviously he's the minister. Who else gonna sign off? He release slip if he's the boss. Yes, right. So
Yeah.
not necessarily you have to declare that you're leaving, but I'm pretty sure his entire department knew he had an emergency and he needed to head out.
Exactly, because later on it came out that he had to be there because his father's in the hospital.
Correct. Even
No.
if it's a last minute thing, oh, something happened last night, I'm booking a ticket today and heading out this afternoon, like we usually do on the fly,
Yeah.
the department would know, because what if something happens on the ground in Guyana and he needs to be present? I'm like I said, y'all. First thing the listeners have to understand, well, it gotta make sense, right?
Well.
And a lot of stuff these reporters like to put out don't make sense when you listen to it
Mhm.
or even when you read it. So it's important to understand, well, hey, this ain't really adding up,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
And
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 of
you can
course,
see there was a blatant, attempt to basically
yeah.
tie the recent sanctions on the
The,
persons, the family, the
mhm,
Mohammed's family who were accused of gold smuggling by the
mhm.
U.S. They're attempting to tie that
That
family
within his
right with
situation, of
this
course.
situation.
Just
That
pin the tail on the donkey them playing, man.
yeah, and this is why I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? I mean, is there no um attempt? If you see,
Mm,
for example, the same news people who seem to be going after members of the government for the gold smuggling, when their names are not even called in that issue, why are they not going to investigate the actual gold smuggling issue?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not investigating that issue? I can tell you why. And I think most of Guyana knows why they're not going to talk about the gold smuggling issue.
Well, we've seen over time how much money would have been passed, how much gifts
Yeah.
was handed over in the name of charity and
Mm-hmm.
goodwill and whatever else you want to call it.
Yeah.
The thing is, we clearly know how much people receive because these people like to take pictures. So it's
Yeah.
not a question
Mm-hmm.
of did you benefit? We've seen you benefited.
Yep.
And that is the difference. This is why they can't come out and speak factual information.
It's weird. It's really, really. We have, I don't know, we have a weird mentality in Guyana. Um, and I think it's the same mentality kind of pervading the US at this point in time, where for some reason we want to have an emperor, or a dictator, somebody who just comes in and dictates. I think this is
Mm,
why, as well, Guyanese are kind of skewed in that direction because if you remember back in our history, we did have a dictator,
yes.
right? So I think the mindset of that whole dictatorial ideology is still left, and is left with these old dinosaurs that's still surviving. And
Mm,
I mean, in no way respectfully, because some of them is some real dinosaurs. In no way am I disrespecting old people, but in Guyana we got some old politicians that are some real dinosaur. You can't even call them dinosaur. You guys are dinosaur because they're so old. Their scales are not probably old too. Because the kind of facades and the kind of stuff that these people throw up and believe that the population is just ignorant and stupid, and I can't understand why they are still even welcomed in the political sphere after the kind of nonsense that these people put down.
the fact that we support the camaraderie so much and so heavy, like I would understand if everybody was a part of the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of train with that mindset to look out for your brothers and sisters, whatever the case,
Yeah.
right? But in the area whereby we know this is nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
we could clearly see whether it be the disrespect or the lack here of proper information and these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
But we keep continuing to support the negativity.
I just think Guyanese love this whole sensationalized, nonsensical type of stuff. And
I
and,
mean,
and,
I
and
think
you,
it's proven by now.
yeah, and you can see this across the board. I mean, they wouldn't look at, for example, the real artists from the country, but they will
Mm,
pay attention to a comedic artist the most.
mm,
It's a weird type of mentality, you know. Um, the one man bands actually have more clout than the actual artist. And a one man band ain't creating nothing. All he is on a keyboard, and singing everybody's songs. I mean, I don't understand. Like, what is wrong with these people's mentality? And this is why we keep insisting, that the government gotta, through the Ministry of Culture, they gotta do something and make some changes.
yeah.
Because again, Minister Ramson, culture is not about track and field, stadiums, aquatic centers. That's sports.
Well, that would have been a part of it, Malachi, of
That's
the
a
culture.
part.
That's a part of the culture,
That's a part.
right? If and it would have been more so if we were a country like Spain or one of them countries support football so heavy
Yeah.
and they may have nothing else or cricket or whatever other sport that you play and we ain't really got nothing else to bring we out to the slums.
No, but listen to
We
this.
passed that.
Listen to this. Right in Spain, I'm glad that you mentioned Spain because right in Spain, what they have done, they don't have a lot of stuff going on in those areas, but what they've done, there is an old way of what is called sledding from one village to another, right, in a
Mm,
particular town. And what they do, they turn that into their cultural, expose. So when people go into that area in Spain, they're encouraged to go ride the sleds. Where, for example, instead of having, in India, they would have the tuk tuk or the pull taxis,
hmm.
but in Spain, they have the sleds. So they would have two guys at the back of a sled pushing you while you're sitting in this sled. You're going downhill. And they're meandering, taking the turns. It's like like in the Jamaican sledge, the bobsled team or whatever they call themselves, the bobcat
Yeah.
team, right? Something like that. But they're sliding on the road. You understand? And that is supported by the government of Spain as part of their tourism expo to people when they come to that area. So what are
I
we
believe
doing?
that we don't understand our position in the world that we play right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It seems as though the a lot of the a few people have they don't have a exact idea of where we are. When we say where we are, we're talking about where we are in the world, where we are in
Hmm.
this time, and what is available to us now.
Correct. So just to be clear, right?
Mhm.
Cricket is a part of our culture
Correct.
at this point in time.
Yeah,
It's
cricket has
heavy in
always
the
been.
culture.
I mean, cricket has always been. I mean, we have some of the greats, Rohan Kanai, um, Clive Lloyd. I mean, we got some of the greatest.
Correct. The problem is, Malachi, with that. We've been building stadiums and grounds and everything else in between to facilitate these activities every now and then, right?
Yeah, it's just sport.
But then we don't do any grassroots work, as some would like to call it, with these same events.
Hmm.
Because I don't see in schools they have, well, at least, let me say, if they got 2,000 schools, at least 700 schools supposed to have a cricket club. We don't see this, right? So there's no grassroots development within the sport itself. You gotta wait till you reach high school or you join an outside club and these sort of things.
Yeah.
We ain't molding the next generation to come and take over. So automatically we losing the same culture that we so much celebrate.
Hmm. I agree.
When it's come to other sports, well, we know for sure we ain't really up there with any other sports. We could
Well,
see
well, we
football,
got some good swimmers at this point in time, and that came up from our boy Dutchy, who used to live in South Rhineville.
but I believe we've always had good swimmers. How much time people get you over the black hawk from
Well,
setting
that's
sun?
what I'm saying. Guyanese kind of like, I mean, we are the land of many waters. So not to have excellent swimmers would be like a disgrace,
Hmm.
you know.
So these are the things that we always had, Malachi, but we've never molded them. And that is our
Exploited the
problem, the
situation too.
molding of it.
Yeah. And taking advantage of the situation, what we have available to us.
Correct. If we got 10,000 youths in the streets who know to do everything, whether it be craft or arts and entertainment and these sort of things, sports, we should be making use of all of these kids.
Well, this is why, you notice every time we get into these conversations, they always, at some point in time, there's an intersection that brings us back to our mantra.
Hmm. Of course.
Always. And this is how this is how important that particular issue of IP is, because it is affecting the youth and their
Hmm.
growth and development. Yes, the government is making strides in infrastructural development. We're not knocking y'all for that. What we're talking about here is the development of the minds, because you're going to have a very developed infrastructure with some minds
No
that
brain.
exactly not prepared to move in that kind of environment that needs to be
Mm-hmm.
had in Guyana for real progress. And we're talking about progression of the people, not big companies coming in and taking the place of a local. One of the things too that I thought was really good this morning that that kind of tickled my ears was, you remember weeks ago we always had a few programs that dealt with the whole price control issue.
Mm-hmm.
Incidentally, this morning on radio in Guyana, I was hearing the same issue now, where people are calling in and saying, listen, we have a problem with this price issue where, I mean, people are just jacking up prices for absolutely no reason.
Brother, chicken, as they say, was $360 a pound. Now
Uh,
it's $440. Tell me at which point did the feed for the chicken went up? Did the transporting of chicken went up? Did the
the
rearing and
gas went up as
everything
part of
else
the
went up?
transport. All of that. All of those are factors that have to go in. But of course, none of that goes in. All that goes in is the fact that once there is a prospect of a salary is increase in any sector,
Mm-hmm.
these guys just raise their prices. If the government gives out the grants for the school children to get their uniforms and stuff to the parents, prices gone up there too. You know, it's foolishness. And the government really needs to put their foot down with this kind of nonsense because it's affecting the population. These
Yes, sir.
guys cannot do this. You're allowing a lot of the business people to run rain wild over the population and basically squeeze the population down to nothing. What kind of stuff is that?
We gotta get it together very early.
We gotta
Else
get
we'll
that together.
continue to lose as a people.
I mean, people, and then okay, let's look at it from the standpoint of somebody coming into Guyana, not understanding this whole. Okay, every time something the government suggests or there is a sector that's going to get an increase in salary, these guys change the price. So if somebody coming into Guyana and they notice that, how do you think they're going to be able? Like what? There is no price control. And that's a necessary thing. If you're going to run a country efficiently, you can't have people. And it's just like when we had the boat issue and we had to talk about it on radio. Weeks after, we
Mm-hmm.
see them, of course, with the knee jerk reaction again now, jumping. Oh, yes. Then they put out an ad out there now to the population and saying, no, do not pay more than this. When they should have had that fear, they should have had a fear board right at Perica.
Well, even with the fear board, I think it's a problem. They should provide public transportation.
Correct. Correct.
That is the real thing.
No, but if you're gonna license these private people to do the public transportation aspect, it gotta come with some measure of rules, some measure of standardization. That's what I think should be done. You can't just say, okay, arbitrarily, as these guys do, they're raising the price to go from Perica to Supernam, and there's no arbitrarily price range change in gas and all of that. But of course, they would come on social media and make those claims that well, they're not getting any, they're not, the price of gas has gone up. But we know that the price of gas has not gone up. A matter of fact, when I went to Ruba's gas station 1 month, it had gone to, let's say, a 20-pound bottle of gas had gone from 3.32 to 3.7. And then the
Mm.
following week, it went all the way back down again. Because the government ensured that, okay, if you guys are going to take it up, we're going to take the tariff down.
Yeah.
We're going to take the tariff down. So you have to come bring the price down. And these people are so unscrupulous that they refuse to bring these prices back down.
Hmm.
It's like with the minibus situation. When they get an opportunity and they raise their prices, although the government is trying to stabilize the price of gasoline, they're not paying more for gasoline. They're trying to bring the duty down on the spare parts and stuff for the cars and the minibuses, the taxi drivers, and so on. But they want to ensure that their prices are going up on a constant basis. For example, the other day when we jumped in a taxi just to go down from Stabrook Market to the seawall, what was the price?
$1,000.
Exactly. What kind of, it's like, what really going on in Guyana with this
And
price
it would have
issue?
really makes sense to leave from residents because we met at the central point in town. So it would have made sense to pay $1,000 from where I live to the seawall, or $1,000 from where you live to the seawall, instead of paying $1,000 from the
Georgetown.
park, which is one straight road,
Yeah.
and then a turn. Right? So these are the things that we need to be fixed. The
They have to be
Department of
fixed, bro.
Transportation needs to look into these things.
Yep. ASAP. It needs to be looked into because this stuff is definitely, it's going to put a strain on, it's putting strain already on the population. You know.
I mean, everybody complaining things, price high, cost of living high,
Yeah.
salaries are not being raised.
But we know as soon as the salary is raised, what happens again? What is
Another
going to
price
happen again?
gouging.
Exactly. Another setup of the price gouging. These guys going to go for it again. Now, bye. They're making money, they know. So we got to get into that. We got to get in that. And it's
And
ridiculous.
that mentality that have us down on a constant.
Well, that is what keeps us where we are. But we constantly complain, oh, this is not right. The other thing is not right. But how are we making it right? How are we making it right? You know, it's weird. It's weird. It's very, very weird. It's very, very weird. The way the situation, people expect certain things to happen. And since when do people expect a government to basically like mind them or take care of them?
Well, I think that would be on the government fault because they always try to reach the people and make sure everybody's comfortable, which is understanding. That's how we Guyanese people stay. But you cannot.
No, I believe that is how we have
everybody.
been accultured. That's my thing. I think that's the way we've been accultured over the last since colonialism, and we got our separation from that.
Mhm.
I think we get stuck in this thing. Well, we need to be taken care of for some reason.
Well, it's clear.
It's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset.
Mm. At some point in time, we need to make the necessary changes as people, right? We can't always want handouts from government. We should be asking for systems.
We should be
Whereby
asking
we
for
could
free
benefit.
medical. We should be asking for free dental. You understand?
Free
There's certain,
healthcare.
we should be asking for free house lot. Those are the things we should be asking for. As a matter of fact, not asking. Those are the things we should demand that our politicians provide for us. And, you know, just before we wrap up the first hour of the conversation, you know, again, it's important that the creatives in Guyana understand because they're always hitting up, oh, this ain't happening, that ain't happening for them. What's happening for the music in Guyana? Well, until you guys realize that the only way to affect the system is to come together and affect the system through the vote, where you have to ask the politicians through a board or a body that is constituted to represent that group of individuals to say to the politician, could we see a manifesto and what you're providing for us as the creatives, not the sporting people, but the people who are writing programs, the artists, the writers, the designers, the architects, those people who are entrepreneurs creating ideas, the people who come up with excellent recipes to create products that can go on our shelves and on the shelves internationally. What are you doing to protect their work. So if we want to have this real developing nation, we have to really look at how we are developing the people of the nation to develop the nation. You know, that's my final take on before we wrap up this first hour of the conversation. I That is it for me. I think that the focus should be on the people and the education of the people.
Well, I agree with you, and I'll add by saying if we don't step forward and demand change, then we're not going to see any change. Because even of recent, the issue between AFC and the PUP, you know, Jagdeo was saying, well, because the AFC is calling for early elections.
Yeah.
And if you understand, elections supposed to happen at a certain time, or it usually happen at a certain
No,
time.
but they could
But
call for
because we
anything
had
they
a
want.
big delay,
They could call for anything they want. They cannot call for any. They could just say what they want. The
Correct.
timely function of GCOM is what they have absolutely no authority to push for early elections or anything like that. That's just a bundle of piffle.
well, as Vice President Jagdeo called it, nonsense.
Obviously, it's
Bunch
piffle.
of nonsense.
But what gives you the right, as not even the opposition party, because how many seats you got in parliament really? Couple? Two? Or three?
But the thing is, Malachi, with that, is because things are changing, everybody grabbing for power. And we as the people need to understand, we can't give them power
No.
if we don't get anything we want. So if you know in your area, you want light, water, road, whatever it may be, you have to go out and demand these things.
Well, in a very civil manner, because some people,
Of course,
like, they're
of course.
playing their head in good. But the time really flies. We're going to get back in the third and final hour with the conversation. Don't touch that dial. Don't go nowhere. Stay glued to slamfm.co.uk, Majestic Music Radio in the tri-state area, New York City, 97.7, my exclusive radio in Atlanta, Georgia, Cut and Clear Radio in Canada, and 102.3 in Antigua and Barbuda. We're going to drop some more music. And of course, when we get to the top of the hour, we mix it up, flip it up. When we get back, it's more music and more vibe and more conversation.
I don't know what you're drinking, but bartender, pour more rum for me, more rum for me, I don't know what I'm drinking, but I like it, like more rum for me, more rum for me.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi, always representing all the time.
Mr. Bartender, I'm calling out to you. When I lie in and drinking, I don't care about what they say.
You know how we do in the rush hour? Everything coming out of GT right here. Make sure you follow me on social media. That's MALACHI. That's on Facebook and YouTube. On IG, it's KWSIGILB. Of course, you can hit us up on +592-641-0945 or +305-713-8595. Stay glued to the rush hour. Guyana's Industry Show. Voice of the Guyanese Babu featuring Adrian Dutchin and the Hitman. But of course, we don't condone the drinking, especially drinking and driving. If you're going to drink, drink responsibly. But it's only Wednesday. It ain't Friday. The WW Day.
Malachi, you do
Drive me fellas crazy. I don't know what you're thinking, but bartender, more rum for me, more rum for me. Forevermore, darling, don't mind it black like coal. I love you more than diamond and gold, darling. Don't mind it black like coal. I I love you more than diamond and gold. I'm telling you, girl, not to feel bad. Me not marry you just to get the green card. I'm telling you, girl, not to feel bad. Me not marry you just to get the green card. Darling, don't mind your black like gold. I love you more than diamond and gold, oh darling. Don't mind your black like gold. I love you more than diamond and gold.
Big shout out to the guys in New York City. Hey, little Guyana. Leffords. Yeah, you know, wrong there by your Sibils. By the roti shop. Big shout out to Dave. What a guan. Gotta shout out to Mahindra too. Bye.
Don't mind your black like gold. I love you.
Boys of the coolie bye. Black like coal.
I love you more than diamond and gold.
When the girl them call you the answer, all when you can't do this answer. Don't hear them out of a mantra. Don't know what Mr. Yamta. When you drop the anchor, no, you don't play Billy Blanca. Then when you know how the anchor, then bring it up time. Happy to the hammer to the nail, mama. When you call me, I've got to be there, nana. Got to put the hammer to the nail, mama. Son of the compete and I don't go to jail, nana. Woman, I tell me she need that tour. The man where she have love this people short. She want dance in the real dance floor, so they give it to her. Real hardcore. And I ring game and I take that door. And the tech when I see that show. Take the lead, everything that show. Because everything that show. Go come, get it all. Go come, go get it all. Happy to the hammer to the nail, mama. When you call me, I've got to be there.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi.
Slam Radio. Slam.
You remember?
Shakedown presents the long-awaited return of King of the Blues. The Rick Groove and Slow Jams edition, Saturday the 13th of July 2024 at Kilburn Bridge, 77 Kilburn High Street, Kilburn, NW6 6HY. Your musical maestros and connoisseurs. Federal Touch featuring Rubber Ranks and Dixie, Chairman of the Board, KC Genesis Jones, TC Fords, and special guests Slim Tim from Touch of Class. Special guest MCs Polito Don and Big U. We're going to take you back to the days with the original blues dance days when dance was nice with beer vibes. Tickets are £10 early bird, £15 standard, available from shops.com and eventbrite.co.uk. £20 on the door, so grab your tickets fast. If it's your birthday, book a celebration table and we will make it special for you. King of the Blues, Saturday, July 30, 07 511 272 227.
Attention all Londoners, get ready to rock the boat on the Thames on Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. It's time to celebrate the 41st anniversary of the one and only TC Fords, one of the city's leading entertainment icons. Join us aboard a luxurious boat for a night of unforgettable music, fashion, and festivities. Dress to impress in your best blue or beige attire, and you could even win cash prizes for the most stylish outfits. The lineup is stacked with some of the hottest DJs in town, including Studio Express, 625, Special Touch, and DJ Technician. And the guest of honor himself, TC Fords, will be taking the stage to showcase his legendary skills. But that's not all. TC Ford's very own son, DJ Rem, will be making a special guest appearance to add even more excitement to the event. Early bird tickets are available for £25, with standard tickets at £30 and dinner tickets for £45. Don't miss out on this unforgettable celebration. Head to eventbrite.co.uk, chubs.com, or access tickets to secure your spot. And if it's your birthday, let us make it extra special. Book a table and let's get your celebration off to a beautiful start. All birthday crews are welcome. This event is supported by slamradio.co.uk and Discount Cars Recovery. Join us on the Thames for a night you'll never forget.
Malachi Martain, amazing beauty products made from real Moroccan organic argan oil. Malachi Martain, our latest products, pure organic argan oil, organic argan black soap, argan glow masks, hand and foot cream, herbal scrub, shampoo, lip balm and shea butter, infused with coconut and vanilla. Free sample gifts with every order. Free delivery in London on orders of £50 or more. There's a 25% discount on all website purchases. Apply Slam Radio into the coupon box, press apply and receive your discount on orders over £40. Log on to the site allthews.malakamarok.com. We invite you to experience our exquisite argan-infused beauty range. Sunday the 28th of July. It's the very unique and different, the first ever South London Football and Netball Caribbean Soiree Fun Day. Starts from 3 p.m. till 10 p.m. at the new AFC Wimbledon FC, Plough Lane, SW17ONR. Reminisce on the old days when we played football and netball between the years of 1975 to 2005. There'll be competitions. How many goals can you score in a minute? Penalty shootout. Listen to music by TC Fords, Mystery, Back to Basics, and Watty Jr. OBE. Live PA by Star Mackenzie. 20% of the proceeds will be donated to Croydon Sickle Cell Thalassemia Support Group. Tickets available from accessuktickets.co.uk or call 07493 90803.
Go so with your badness. We know you're not slackness. This a Rasta business. Run, come give me the roots and culture. Chase them vulture. Go so with your badness. We know you're not slackness. This a Rasta business. Run, come give me the roots and culture. Go so with your badness. We know you're not slackness. This a Rasta. Go so with your badness. We know you're not slackness. This a Rasta business. Run, come give me the roots and culture. Chase them vulture. Go so with your badness. We know you're not slackness. This a Rasta business. Run, come give me the roots and culture. Bone vampire entire.
It's passion. Give me. Alright. I love to feel your body when it's close to mine. When you and I become as one, it's in the trip to me. When we move to the melody, come on and give it to me, baby. When you walk your ways, you raise my passion. Yes, come on and give it to me, baby. When you walk your ways.
Tell you what I want. When the Rasta man them come together like the torch and the wicked catch a fire. Tell you what I want. When they get to you, them try fi better, and the system try fi turn them in a shatter. Tell you what I want. One Babylon, highly Selassie rain down, lightning and thunder. Tell you what I want. Tell you what I want. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stars among stars. We. Lights, camera, someone.
Meet and greet, pool parties, the infamous boat party, beach party, back to school wear, a gala night, sports and beach wear, and our farewell party. Music from London's top DJs and sounds, TC Forts, Federal Touch, S&B Sound, DJ Tech, C6, and new attraction. Book your own flight. Accommodation can be arranged. For further information, call 07 511 272 227.
Do you remember?
Shakedown presents the long-awaited return of King of the Blues. The Rick Groove and Slow Jams edition, Saturday the 13th of July 2024 at Kilburn Bridge, 77 Kilburn High Street, Kilburn, NW6 6HY. Your musical maestros and connoisseurs. Federal Touch featuring Double Ranks and Big C, Chairman of the Board, KC Genesis Jones, TC Fords, and special guest Slim Tim from Touch of Class. Special guest MCs Polito Don and Big U. We're going to take you back to the days with the original blues dance days when dance was nice with beer vibes. Tickets are £10 early bird, £15 standard. Available from shops.com and eventbrite.co.uk. £20 on the door, so grab your tickets fast. If it's your birthday, book a celebration table and we will make it special for you. King of the Blues, Saturday, July 13th, 07 511 272 227.
Get ready for In a Rubber Dub Style on Saturday, the 20th of July 2024 at the All Nations Bar, 81 Broad Lane, Tottenham, N15 4DW. From 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Music by More Love Family alongside Fat Man Sound and Rude Boy Skitler B. Ladies free before 11 p.m. £10 on the door or online at shoes.com/events/94494. Birthday bookings are welcome. For more information, ring 07508 255 735.
The ultimate Caribbean party holiday, the D-Jam Festival. The D-Jam Festival returns for its 10th annual installment from the 25th of September to the 2nd of October 2024 on the beautiful Caribbean island of Antigua. 7 days and nights of fun in the sun and non-stop musical entertainment, including pool parties, all-white parties, boat cruise, theme nights, a prestigious gala dinner, the epic beach festival, plus much, much more. With some of the finest DJs, artists, and hosts providing the vibe. Packages start from $12.99, which includes flights, accommodation, transfers, and entertainment pass. Book your space now with just £100 deposit. Head over to djamfestival.org. Or for more info, call 0207 096 0684. The D-Jam Festival 2024, the ultimate Caribbean party holiday.
From London to the world, slamradio.co.uk, the big music frequency.
From Berbice to Linden, Georgetown to Bartica, we're about to unload a barrage of hits.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
You're listening to the hottest show in Guyana.
Don't tell me you don't know.
With your boy.
You ready for it?
Malachi.
That's my man.
Real vibrations that rock the nation.
You know what it is.
You're locked on reggae, dancehall, hip-hop, soca, and chutney vibe. We've got it all, and it's all just for you.
Right now.
Welcome to the Rush Hour.
Hey, yo, what's up? Y'all got a problem? Y'all want some of this? Yeah.
Non-stop local hits.
No doubt.
Fresh out of GT, it's Guyanese music with Malachi.
Well, this song goes out to the love of my life. Yeah. Her name is Money. And I know everybody love money. But nobody loves money more than me. No, you see? So listen my story. Yeah, me love you, bud. Me need you so. When I find you, girl, me a hold on tight and me not let go. Cause money me love you. Tell me where you gone. Yeah, tell me where you gone. Honey me miss you. Tell me where you gone. Yeah, tell me where you gone. Honey me love you. Tell me where you gone. Yeah, tell me where you gone. You can't live without you. Tell me where you gone. Yeah, tell me where you gone. Well, this song goes out to the love of my life. Yeah. Her name is Money. I love her body. And I know everybody love money. But nobody loves money more than me. No. You see? So listen my story. Yeah, me love you, bud. Me need you so. When I find you, girl, me a hold on tight and me not let go. Cause money me love you. Tell me where you gone. Yeah, tell me where you gone. Honey me miss you.
Tell me where you gone. Girl, tell me where you gone. Honey, me love you. Tell me where you gone. Girl, tell me where you gone. You can't do without you. Tell me where you gone. Girl, tell me where you gone. Since the day I was born, I've been hearing so much about you. I know me turn a big man, you know me life, and me can't do without you. You see the clothes for me back, and you buy it. The car when me drive, and you buy it. The bike when me ride, and you buy it. You make me live nice, and if I never take the time to thank you, money, I'm sorry. I'm a man bending knees, me, I beg you, please don't leave me. When me and you are proud, and I like it, but there's nothing that them can't do about it. Me and you are so in love, all over the world like a pair of love numbers. You pay my bills, you feed my kids, and I appreciate you. And if you ever come back in my life, I would never abuse you. I'm taking this time out to let you know how much I care. Anyway, you hide me, I find you. In a space, in a bush, me not kick, I love you. So tell me where you're gone. Girl, tell me where you're gone. Tell me need you. Tell me where you're gone. Girl, tell me where you're gone.
You better back up and leave, girl, because you're being deceived, girl. My girl, it's time you must go. He got you in the background, girl. Make you a clown, girl. You better listen to me flow. My girl, you like a song track, you play a role in the back. You're not the only one, yes, misstating facts. The man of you like a wallpaper. He have you like a sweet saver. You must see Martin to you be alone. Papa showing up when you call in the phone. The man of you like a wallpaper. He have you like a sweet saver. You don't want to see Facebook and say you can't tag your man. You take a selfie, he have you like a fan. Relationship status, skip the option. Cause being public, it wasn't part of your plan. You tell you 2 times, I don't like publicity. You don't know your friends are no family. He's sleeping by you, but you can't sleep by him. But then you call yourself your wifey. Again, my girl, you like a song track, you play a role in the back. You're not the only one, yes, misstating facts. The man of you like a wallpaper. He have you like a sweet saver. You must see Martin to be alone. Papa showing up when you call in the phone. The man of you like a wallpaper. He have you like a sweet saver. You try and hashtag the man on Instagram. The next day you see you get an instant ban. You post up a picture them on Facebook. He said, baby, take it down, I don't like our look. He was your profile pic, baby, on WhatsApp. He said the next time you're gonna get a hot stop. Now you want to throw shades when you hit a love trap. You don't feel stone when you play a glass shop. My girl, you like a song track, you play a role in the back. You're not the only one, yes, misstating facts. The man of you like a wallpaper. He have you like a squeeze saver.
Joey, I got my new confidence. I just wanna put a lady. Yeah. Test me if you can. Me are the queen with some big plans.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi. Always representing 90s all the time.
So no run up in on my face, don't try test my case before you get knocked out. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Try test me and you go face the consequence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Try test me and you go face the consequence. Listen to me now, men, if you can. Me know what a man was shocking at the sun. We love the money, and no man to spend away. Not a man with us holding iron. Me a the girl we never tap out. Me a the girl we never back out. So no one be on my face, no try test me case before you get knocked out. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Try test me and you go face the consequence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Stepping out and I'm in new confidence. Try test me and you go face the consequence. Me and the money and the face me I miss you. No one cannot be up and leave me lay down just so dry. Me got the glimmer, car, my property. When me sliding in poverty, me no little time. Well, every day just a sliding on me inbox. Sexy girl like me, they want to hit that. None of me pictures, we must got us one sexy apparatus, but a hustle, we a hustle. We not chase ya. Stepping out and I'm in stepping out and I'm in I come to buy some fruit. Since I like me, I over there. Give me a sucker, your chuli mango. Like no one. Give me a sucker, your chuli mango. Like the lights, bang 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 bang. Give me a Sapphire, Julie Mango. So the man has give me a Sapphire, Julie Mango. She give me apple, I don't want that. She give me pear, I don't want that. Banana, I don't want that. I want the thing with this round, that round and fat. Guava, I don't want that. City, I don't want that. Cashew, I don't want that. Girl, give me the fruit when they must come. I remember those days as a little picnic when your other girlfriend was going to don't wear it. Back in them days, it wasn't easy, especially when you live in the country. You have fruit tree here, fruit tree there. Fruits in the backyard, fruits everywhere. One of them fruits was important for me, and climbing up in the mango tree and take us up on the Julie Mango. Take us up on your Julie Mango. Give me a suck on the Julie Mango. Give me a suck on the Julie Mango. And your mango look firm and strong. When you can taste about it, live long. This is what I'm doing. Too cool, smart as you can. We have something to tell your girlfriend. All right. Hey,
Malachi, you too quick this
make it happy. Oh, you look so good, you make it poppy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Defend up on the corner so you're classy. Your perfume a linger when you pass it. The mother girl people to them fussy. No, tell the cops tint out. And you look so good, make your body print out. You can never touch your body, let them in doubt. Calling up with them and them a run the stink mode. Them a run the stink mode, them a run the stink mode.
It's your boy right here on the wheels of
the man could have never this a program. Education is the center of your slogan. Enough of them collect the money with the explosion. No, whoa, whoa, whoa. You said it and them I wanna be. In your life there's no laws of gravity. Now you don't grab the care and the property. No, oh, tell the cops tint out. Now you look up at them, make your body print out. You can never touch your body, let them in doubt. Calling up them and them a run the stink mode. Them a run the stink mode, them a run the stink mode. It's goody, sexy body not out. You know in with them, in with them fat out. For them a live, but them a never run. Them never run.
Start roll, girl. When you Babylon, you start to whine. It's like we on a cruise line. When you roll our waist, hit me just like a wave. I wanna dip in your ocean. Cause when the body in motion, the body get wet, wet, wet. The river that we wine get start roll. Rocky boat, rocky boat, rocky boat. Smooth sailing when the body start roll. When the bumper shake, ride the wave, ride the wave. Rocky boat.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi, always representing Guyanese music all the time.
It's like we on a cruise line. When you roll our waist, hit me just like a wave. I wanna dip in the ocean. Cause when the body in motion.
10 minutes after the hour, we're back with the Rush Hour Guyana's Industry Show. Boys of the artist, Pat Joe. You know how we doing, Joseph Hill. We get back into today's conversation. Don't touch that dial. Don't go nowhere. You know we local. That's my word, local to global.
Like the Caribbean.
SlamFM.co.uk, Majestic Music Radio, my exclusive radio, Cotton Glare Radio, 102.3. We gonna rock the boat on the WW.
When the bumper shake, ride the wave, start roll. Rocky boat, shaking the place when the body start roll. If you're pulling me in, ride the wave, that way. When you're rolling that way, stir and pulling me, yeah. You sink or swim,
Johnny, look it up on the one side screen. All my sexy ladies. It's something, wine for something. Fling it on a man, let it feel on the wrong thing. Whoa, you got it like whoa. Yeah, you little bit, make him really want it. Love for you jiggle and him love for your front. Whoa, sing whoa. Someone grab it, someone stop it. Some like a fiend and they really got to have it. They say you got no style, just do what you want. Sexy, how you have it. Someone buy, someone taste. Some like it too, sexy on your face. They say you got no style, just do what you want. Sexy and you have it. What you gonna do when I put this bump, fling it on you? I'm twice the fun, call me times two. Tick tock, as me back, and you're crazy for true. Grab your nut like a spanner, born in Guyana. This original, I make the boys them stammer. Nothing I like talking, too like drama. So can you hit my nail with your hammer? Someone love it, someone love it. So like a fiend, and they really got to have it. They say I got no style, just do what you want. Sexy, how you have it. Someone buy, someone taste. Some like it, you say, tipping on your face. They say you got no style, just do what you want. Sexy, how you have it. Boy, this type of action will drive you crazy. I show you.
Jack it, Jack. Oh, yeah. And you never heard me do it like this. Me say you never heard me do it like this, yo. Jack it, Jack. You have to jam me the front and center. Off your friend to the front and center. My girl to the front and center. To the front and center. Yeah, your body so down. Make the man that you free. Sit up on it, sit up on it, sit up on it, thing, y'all. You sit and make the man that come back. Him a run up on the thing. Him a catch a nata. You good eye. Make the man that you free. Sit up on it, sit up on it, sit up on it, thing, y'all. You sit and make the man that come back. Him a run up on the thing. Him a catch a nata. Not so the dirty girl can you turn up. I come in at the night and I let you turn up. You want the proper thing to your whole him. You know worry cause I never control him. Yo, him love it when me catch and go down. When me back it up, him I wanna tell all the tongue. Tick tock it like you watching and me dragging him. Follow me all around. Tell your body to die, make the man that you free. You sit up on it, sit up on it, sit up on it, thing, girl. You sit and make the man that come back. Him I run up on the thing, him a catch and attack. You good die, make the man that you free. Sit up on it, sit up on it, sit up on it, thing, girl. You sit and make the man that come back. Him a run up on the thing, him a catch and attack. You a bad girl, no you not sad girl. Them coulda never call a brand in a hot girl. Higher than the 9 months old and the bird. Vacation every part of the world. Just let out me a but the hard part man can't trick me. We punch up, we never gonna stop. Them a run out your man, them a press and they stop. From your nose to your body, look good in your jeans. They say you wicked, London. They say you wicked, Malcolm. They say you wicked. Them say you wicked. They say you wicked. Oh.
Poppy, boom, boom, sitting on the fence. Trying to get away, but it don't make no sense. Cut it, snatch it, and release.
Girl, them love we, but we popular. Let me keep on me neck like Dracula. Girl, love me some more. On the back, on the floor. Girl, them love we, but we popular. Let me keep on me neck like Dracula. Girl, love me some more. On the back, on the floor.
Say, girl, I investigate all the fights for me. You want to wine niceness in a best for me. You take me out, you never know best for me. That's why words can't make sense for me. Don't be surprised to see you as nice to me.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi, always representing 90s music all the time. Jack.
Let me keep on the neck like Dracula. Y'all love me some more. On the bed, on the floor. We call them love we, cause we popular.
15 minutes after the hour. You know how we doing the rush hour. Gotta give you that flavor of Guyana.
See when we step up in the club, y'all sound crazy.
What's up? Mr. Weekly featuring Brandon Harding. We're gonna get into the conversation after this one. Gotta drop this one.
Oh my gosh, it's Brandon.
And the Wawan rhythm. Warang rhythm.
Serious thing and no joke. Pass me the rum and the coke. See that I wanna rock on the love. Party all night till it grows so. Serious thing and no joke. Pass me the rum and the coke.
I'm she tell me slide and push the seat. Yeah, that thing not want to me. I'll be wine me a wine pan her. You wanna know? Me still not turn up on her. You wanna know? You wanna what is going with her? You wanna know? Tell me like if you turn up next to a girl and nothing not want to me. It means something wrong. Me telling you, bigger bang. The truck break down.
The truck break down. Yes, Marty, we got to get back into today's conversation. You know how we do in the rush hour each and every day of the week. Make sure you're here with us from Monday to Friday, 1 to 4 in the UK, 8 to 11 in the USA, Canada, Guyana, of course, the Caribbean as well. Shout out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So back into today's conversation, where communication meets corruption, or corruption meets communication. in the first hour of the discussion, we were dealing with the whole issue of what happened with the minister.
Yes.
Supposedly or allegedly happened to the minister, which of course the U.S. Embassy also put out a statement that they did not apprehend or question the
or anything
minister,
of the sort
anything
when
of the
it comes to
sort.
the minister.
It was a simple case of him being escorted in order to facilitate the fact that he was traveling on of course, his diplomatic passport. So, hey, I don't know if they understand protocol, but really diplomats do not stand in lines. All right. I mean, that's a straightforward thing. I hope all people kind of understand that, because a lot of people kind of blew it up. I think making a molehill into a mountain, really. I don't know what was that all about, but I think if the U.S. was, investigated someone, they would apprehend them as they did with Mae Thomas when she was passing through JFK. So I don't think, we should keep, trying to, as we were saying in the first hour, trying to tie the sanctioned gold smuggling issue to the Minister of Natural Resources until proven differently.
Correct.
You understand?
Well, it's a mere fact that the media houses like to have clickbaits, and they also want to be the first to put. So that is really and truly all that
being the
we're
first to
dealing
put
with.
something out is good. I mean, once you have your credible sources and you put it out in an angle that it is fair and unbiased, that's journalism, really. It's not about taking an angle or a side.
We know they don't understand when it comes to Guyana. But I don't want to deal too much with that, Malachi, because we would have touched on it previous when it would have been broken, which was Monday. And then, we kind of continue on that. We did say we're going to speak on the issue in the U.S., which kind of deals with the same communication and corruption aspect of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereby, as everybody know by now, the then president and running candidate would have been shot at, which, as many would have called it, an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Right? So for those who've been on the rock and now coming out, the, what do you call it? The entertainer, program host, the real estate mogul and previous president, which is Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
Right? They had an assassination attempt on his life a couple of days ago. And, well, it broke out on social media first, as always, everything else, right? And we clearly saw the ex-president, current candidate, would have, during his speech, he kind of hold his ears like a mosquito bite it, right? He kind of slap it. And we see a big rush with the Secret Service and, military personnel and security personnel there, whereby they run to, give him cover and to protect him. But fortunately enough, the bullet only grazed the side of the head, and I don't know if it take off a PC ears yet. We didn't see the pictures.
But I saw at the convention last evening, which was, I think it was being broadcast after 12. I think based on the time zone issue with here in Guyana. And he had this thing over his ear, like
not
this,
bad at all.
like a bandage and stuff. I mean, listen, we're not condoning any form of political violence either. We're not saying that this is something that should be happening, because if people see that happening in the most powerful country on earth, they're gonna try to emulate that nonsense in other countries. We're gonna believe, well, it's free reign to try to assassinate a president or an ex-president. you know. And, we don't, I'm not going to be at any point saying that, yeah, that should have been. But at the same time, we know that this kind of stuff is definitely whipped up by him. Because when the Democratic Party was trying to have uh, a particular bill passed in the Senate that deals specifically with the gun laws, the gun issues, these assault rifles being readily available for young people and people even who have, mental issues. This is why we have these issues with gunners every now and again. If it's not a mass shooting, it's somebody doing some sniping. And it's a very simple thing. It's now, in my estimation, what he has propagated has now come home to roost. In other words, he is the one with his party, the Republicans, who want to stop. They don't want any restriction. They're saying, no, we're not going to take away our Second Amendment rights. We have the right to bear arms in any form. What one household doing with 33 guns?
Exactly.
What, they're going to war?
That is above and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? They're going to war. That's the only thing you could really possibly say. This family planned to go to war.
Well, it's a bit questionable, right? Because America have a lot of patriots, right?
Yeah,
and
Guyana got patriots
servicemen.
We don't have
So-
the right to walk around with the AR-15.
Well, in some states you do, unfortunately.
But this is what I think is the major issue. This is why I said it has come home to roost. Because
No,
if you
I
go ahead.
I don't think the actual issue is the people walking around with assault rifle, right? Because if I know you got a big gun and I could clearly see it, at no point in time am I going to do anything to engage you,
Violate.
right? To encourage you to pull out that weapon on me. And clearly we could both see at any given point, we both open carrying.
Yeah.
Right? Which is why I think back in the days, the Western movies and these are the things, they had a legit standoff because everybody and their mother had a firearm.
Yeah. Yeah, but we don't want to go back to those days. That's chaos.
Correct.
That's chaos.
But it was organized chaos at least because we know if you violate, we're going to stand up at the end of the street and we can shoot it out.
But nowadays,
Right.
we don't have that type of mentality. What we have is individuals who either carry some sort of bias, maybe racial or otherwise. They will use a weapon if not curtailed. For example, the same situation with Donald Trump, the ex-president. You have a situation where he has been stowing the fact that, no, the people who raided the Capitol, they're the patriots. These people who have guns in their homes are the patriots. These are the real people of America. Now, the real people of America have responded by an attempted assassination. All right? We're talking about, this is not in an area where it's a concentration of Democrats. It's a concentration of Afro-Americans. None of that. All right? So this is why I'm saying his very ignorance to that fact that having these weapons, because if it was a handgun, it can't reach that far. Now there's a Desert Eagle or something like that, and he gonna make a loud noise. He has really suppression for that. So you gonna have to take those weapons off the market, regardless, because you cannot have people who are mentally unstable being able to access those weapons. And if they feel that, listen, I don't like Trump this day, and I don't like Biden tomorrow, and I don't like the Senate because of what they said, and what happened? These people have free reign to go and use their weapons. This is the democracy that, the American experiment, that's what it's all about.
Well, it's clear that there's things within the system that needs to be fixed. And we know they're fighting constantly in Congress to get things passed and get things changed, right? But the overall aspect of assassination attempt, of course, we know they had numerous attempts back in the days with different presidents.
Yeah.
And successful ones, unfortunately.
JFK, they hit Ronald Reagan, but he didn't die. That kind of thing. George Bush as well. Yeah.
So this was a thing of the past that I guess is a norm now and is something you have to look forward to. And just like we were saying last night, with our ministers and government officials not being prepared, unlike these guys, they always prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, fortunately enough, the bullet only grazed the
Fortunately
ex-president.
enough, the guy wasn't a great sniper, because if he was, it would have been over.
Well, I haven't seen the real gunmen outside doing nonsense.
Well,
unless is somebody from the military with
I
high
got a
experience.
grudge. That's what I'm saying. If it was somebody who was a highly trained sniper, all right? If it was a highly trained sniper, it was over. His melon would have been on the ground.
I agree.
Lucky thing, fortunately, because I mean, having that happen now in the political climate in the US would have been disastrous.
Yes.
It would have been disastrous, because a lot of the Republicans would have blamed the assassination of Donald Trump on the Democrats. And we know, I know, like the two of us were discussing that movie that came out the other day, Civil War.
Civil War.
Yep.
That is a legit play out.
Yep.
Of Civil War.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder, like, hey, are they telling us they're expecting this to happen at some point in time, or are they giving us an idea? They're giving us a heads up.
America put out certain type of movies,
it coming.
Then this is what's gonna play out.
Yeah,
as we could see it with the Simpsons every now and then, things come true.
But it was really kind of mysterious, right? Remember when I told you that Richard Nixon had written a letter to Donald Trump when he was 12, saying that if you become president, these are the things that you should do and you should accomplish. And that was also in The Simpsons. So you kind of wonder, like, how did they know? How did they know, since this guy was 12, that at some point in time you may become the American president? How did Nixon know that?
With the gospel songs, and not by sight, not by might, but by power, by the Spirit.
All right.
Then. There's no. Remember, it's a system that is set out already ahead of time.
Yeah.
We could kind of see it in the PUP government in Guyana, whereby Vice President Jack Dio mentioned the other day in his interview that we are preparing now for the next 5-6 generation. He said the exact words, but his exact words is that we're preparing our ministers. We're looking at the young people, to take over the country in the future. And at some point when election was won back a couple of years ago, we did hear that, hey, these men are there for the next 100 years in power. So you really and truly have to plan ahead.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. It's gotta be a strategic plan ahead. It just can't be a willy-nilly, no structure to the whole thing. And this is where I think the opposition fails in Guyana in really providing that structure, that guidance. We haven't seen real concrete policies that match the government's policies. Where are those? We have given several suggestions where we think that, the opposition could step in. We give them talking points. We've given them several issues that they should zoom in on. But we haven't seen them pick up that mantle and say, okay, well, maybe we should pay attention because we haven't mentioned or looked at these.
Unfortunately, these people, to me, ain't got no heart and soul, even spirit when it comes to politics. Because as we know, politics is a dirty game, and that is all we've been seeing in Guyana, the dirty side of politics. Right? With either party, with any party that went into power, or actively trying to get it. Right? These people in come and say, oh, well, we got so much 1,000 people. Let's accommodate them. Let's put things in place for them. I mean, unlike America, it is kind of made up whereby even if all the president have to really and truly do is kind of sign off on it.
Yeah.
But everything else is governed by the body, the Congress. Right? Guyana, we have the parliament. Guyana, we have the parliament, and you know, them and sit down and twiddle their thumbs and argue and eat all the food and these are the things. And we barely see any change. Right? Unfortunately, this is, you know, what we have to deal with. Because we have the same people in charge who's making the laws. We don't have an outside or an added body of people whereby, hey, let's our job is to brainstorm. Let's come up with the laws. Let's see what needs to be changed. Let's see what we need to add. Let's see what we need to take out. You know, we don't have this group of people who then approaches the parliament and say, hey,
because
this is what we came up with.
Because in order to change laws, you need to have public consultation. All right. In other words, you have to have meetings with the public so that people in the citizenry can get to explain to the parliamentarians what they think their problems are and how they can be solved through these legislations that will prevent or facilitate certain types of things to occur. For example, as we always talk about the IP issue. Because, for example, if we look at the television broadcasting spectrum in Guyana, we know for a fact, and what I do have to commend, for example, stations like MTV, like having programs like you know, that restaurant programs where they highlight a lot of the eateries across Guyana. You know, that's a local content that's produced, you know, at an international standard for Guyanese TV. You know, that's where you see one of the content providers coming up to the mark and providing that level of content. And that producer is one of the producers that used to work at NCN. You know, so this kind of thing where we have to understand, we have to provide our content. We can't have this constant piracy happening where instead of looking inwards to what we have in Guyana, we're looking outwards. People don't want to come and turn the TV on in Guyana and look at something happening in America. That's where they came from.
Exactly.
You understand? They want to see what is happening locally, what is being produced locally, where they can go out to events locally, where the nightlife is. That kind of thing is what you need to be, you know, amplifying as we move forward, as we grow, because we are getting an influx, as the Ministry of Tourism has indicated, an influx. And we're talking over half, almost, not half, sorry, just about quarter of Guyana's population in tourists have come in. You're talking over 250,000 people coming into Guyana. What are we giving them as a meaningful experience when they come to Guyana?
A bunch of trips to every and any falls that we could find and have access to.
Have we set up an efficient way to get people to the Rupununi? We're not talking about 10 and 13 people to the Rupununi. We're talking about hundreds of people.
But that's not going to happen for a little while unless we start changing our mindset.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. Every other country has seized the opportunity, whether they have oil or not. Because if we see what the oil producing nations who really make trillions of US dollars from oil, like in the Arab Emirates, they're not just depending on oil. They're literally taking that money from the oil and investing it in the people to ensure
that those people with their creative skill and their ideas are able to bring those ideas into fruition. This is why you have all those huge constructions, you have Palm Islands, you have all these things happening in those places because the government is seeking to invest in their population and they're doing a lot of government private investment.
Mm.
And this is to help to build because remember when you do a private government arrangement, the the people that you're going to hire in that private um, government arrangement are going to be people from the country.
Yeah.
The money is going to circulate in the country. All right. And that is what we have to understand. We have to understand that in our regime of things, we need to keep that foreign currency here. We don't need people to come and make it in Guyana and leave and take it out. This will affect our economy. This is part of what we're saying, oh, this is happening and that is happening, but we're not looking at how we're not putting the right regimes in place to ensure. For example, in Barbados, do you know that you will walk around forever and you ain't gonna find a Western Union, bro?
Mm.
If you ain't got that app on your phone so that you could do them type of transaction there, can't eat your dinner. You ain't gonna get no money transfer coming out of Barbados like that. And Barbados did that because a lot of people throughout the Caribbean, including Guyanese, were going to Barbados and they were taking whatever they made and sent it to Guyana and other places.
Because yes, I remember them days.
Exactly. Of course, because of the exchange and the rate at the time. And that started to affect Barbados' economy because remember, Barbados is heavily dependent on tourists. And you can't take the foreign exchange dollar out the country when it's supposed to be remaining there to invest. This is what we got to understand about how we operate in our country. We have to keep that foreign dollar. So those people who are coming in, you have to have regimes that force them not only to declare and to pay taxes, but any money that they're taking out of the country past a certain amount has got to be declared. And how you deter individuals from smuggling, you've got to have such high penalties that basically if you do it, your life done. If you get involved in it, you get so much jail time you're coming out when you're old. So nobody want to touch it. It's like in New York. No carry, no gun. If you get caught with one and it's illegal, you in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Every jail time.
You get in some heavy jail time. So it's the same thing that we need to look at in our country when it comes to breaking certain laws. You have to, in order to stamp it out, you have to go the draconian way.
Mm.
You have to have high penalties to stop the foolishness from reoccurring over and over. If you're telling the population and you're saying this should not be happening and people insist on doing it, then you got to go draconian. You can't allow it to happen.
It's just understanding for our people, rather.
Yeah.
Because we as you could compare the situation with Trump or America in general to Guyana.
Yeah.
Right. And if everybody is paying attention, you could literally see the similarities with the corruption and the communication aspect. I mean, a lot of things are better or done better in the US.
There's some checks and balances, yes, that are still effective now. Hopefully they stay in place, and stop what is about to happen. Because trust me, the experiment is about to done.
I have faith that all will be well. Right? Either way it falls, even if America becomes a very heavily policed state.
I'll tell you why people are in kind of like a state of confusion. The Republicans in their whole chaotic state of madness and falling out with each other, just like the opposition here, have managed to hold it together finally under the dictator. However, the Democrats who were holding it together now seem to be falling apart, where you have individuals in the Senate like Adam Schiff saying that, we think that Biden should really look at, getting replaced as the running. Are you kidding? You supposed to, Adam Schiff really made my hand fall. Like, guy, you supposed to go down dying with your party and with the leader. You ain't changing now, especially now where the rhetoric is so high to the point where an attempted assassination happened. But it really had nothing to do with the Democrats. It had everything to do with Trump and his rhetoric. But if you look at these things, you realize why Guyana mirroring this thing in America? We got a lot going on in like America, bro. It's very similar.
Yeah, it's like big brother, little brother thing.
In
for
terms
some
of the
reason.
in some of the in the politics arena, it mirrors America to the T. And you kind of like wondering what is going on, because lies become truth and truth become lies. Wow. No, seriously, it is a mad world at this point in time. We got to wrap up today's conversation. We hope you had a great one right here with us. Of course, you can hit us up, let us know what your thoughts are on +592-641-0945 or +305-713-8595. Follow me on social media. That's MALACHI. That's on Facebook and YouTube. On IG, it's KWESIGILB. Ensure you stay glued to the rush. And of course, you don't know my co-host Martain Al-Ameen.
Yes, sir. And of course, follow me on our social media platforms at Martain Al-Ameen. And follow The Rush, Guyana's industry show, our very highly syndicated program. Right? Make sure you guys stay tuned. We've seen a bunch of comments, of course. Shout out to everybody who've chimed in. Give their opinion on the Guyana situation. Give their opinion on the U.S. situation, of course. But let's keep the conversation going. It is important that we have these discussions. That way we could understand who we are, where we're going, and what we want for ourselves at the end of the day.
Facts.
All right?
Yeah, man. Martin, you don't know, bro. It's always a pleasure. WW Day.
Yes, brother. One love.
One love. That was my co-host, Martain Al-Ameen. You know how we do each and every day of the week, Monday to Friday, 1 to 4 in the UK, 8 to 11 in the USA, Canada, Guyana, and the Caribbean. We're going to drop some more music before we get out of here. More music, more vibe in the rush hour.
You're tuned in to DJ Malachi, always representing Guyanese music all the time. Jackie Jacks.
Me John inside. Wait, tease and me G-Shock on. Boom, you gonna see a boy trap on fights. Malachi, run the track. Summertime. And me have big food in my line there. Summertime, yeah. I just have big girls and grind there. Summertime. And me have big food in my line there. Summertime, yeah. I just have big girls and grind there. Money when me make, me got to spend. Watch the girl never running on the bench. Rockstar, we don't want a new friend. MOB, this are the girls, them one thing. Some people walking on the club. It's a rock and a NSC now. All the girls, them up the roll out. And everybody just start shouting there. Summertime. And me have the crew, them a line there. Summertime, yeah. And this are the girls, them line there. Summertime. And me have the crew, them a line there. Summertime, yeah. And this are the girls, them line there. So we going to the beach, yeah. That a boy don't bleach, no. All the girls don't sweet with the sexy physique, pulling on the big Jeep, yeah. You know how we do it. The night we get it. Cause the things is sweet.
Hey, what's poppin'? It's the world famous Guyana's own Red Cafe. Turned up to the max with the one and only Malachi. Reppin' that GT. Bye. Believe that. Shake down.
They need that perfect love. All right.
True love, that's the meaning. Things we do together, it's so pleasing, yeah. Confidence on me, she needing, and if me leave, she got to grieving. Say she needs my touch, and she needs my trust.
You know, I gotta get out of here until tomorrow. You know how we do tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday. Real nostalgia on the radio. Throwback Thursdays. Don't miss it tomorrow. Gotta get ready to leave here until. Coming up next on slamfm.co.uk at 4 in the afternoon in London. The big man himself, Mr. TC4, is gonna pick it up at 4. At 11 on Majestic Music Radio in the Tri-State area in New York City. Triple S show comes up next on 97.7, my exclusive radio in Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Matthew is going to touch it at 11. Shout out to the guys in Atlanta. What's that going on? On Cut and Clear Radio in Canada. Gotta stay glued for more music and more vibe as well. On 102.3 Antigua. You know we local. Until tomorrow, one people, one nation, one destiny. That's the motto down here in GT. Make sure you check me out tomorrow. We walk you down memory lane. Make you walk on up your Guyana. Love your world, love your Guyana. I'm out of here until tomorrow.